All right, and now for our essential question 2. How do we translate figures with coordinates? So this is our situation here. You're going to see graphs and you're going to see figures on them. Here's a reference for you. So a question would be, how did the blue figure translate to the red figure? Before we go into that, let's first review things about the graph. It's been a while since we've seen them. First, let's make sure we know our axes, and let's label them. That's this one and this line. Go ahead and pause the video. So the axis that's going straight up and down would be our y-axis, and the axis that's going across would be our x-axis. Do you remember this point where the x and y-axes cross? Try to give the name and the coordinates of this point, and go ahead and pause. So this point is called the origin. The coordinate is 0, 0. It's 0 in the x direction and 0 in the y direction. And let's also review our coordinates. What do they mean? Go ahead and pause the video and fill in the information for the example that I gave you, -2, 3. So the first one is called the x-coordinate. That gives us the location in the x direction. If it's positive, it'll be to the right of the y-axis. And if it's a negative, that means it's to the left of the y-axis, because the y-axis is 0. Now, on the other one, that's the second one, is the y-coordinate. That's the location in the y direction. Positive means it is up, and negative means it is down. So let's try and figure out the coordinates to some of the points on our blue figure first. I put in the positives and negatives to help you. So in these boxes, let's fill in the coordinates that you think they are. And go ahead and pause. Let's go one by one. This point right here, since it's positive 1 to the right side and it's going up 1, the coordinate is going to be 1, 1. Or we would say 1, 1. And similarly, for the second point, it is 3 to the right and up 1, so it is 3, 1. And then if we keep going, that is 1 higher than the original, so it's going to be 3, 2. Going around, we'll see that this next point is 2 across and 2 up, so it's 2, 2. And the next point is the same across, so it's 2, and it's 4 up, so it's 2, 4. And finally, our last point is 1 across and 4 up, so it is 1, 4. Okay, so this is how it would look like, a little bit more in the right way to express our points. Our coordinates are right next to our points. So let's come back to what we were originally wanting to talk about. We wanted to talk about translations on graphs. So again, imagine a path from the blue figure to the red, and write the path that you see in your response. So from before, we would see that the blue had moved to the right and then down. Or we should say the figure is translated to the right and then down. But now that we have a graph, we can actually be a little bit more specific with the path that we described. We can say that what a better way to say is the figure is translated right 3 and down 2. Now, how did I know that? Let's see. Let's take 1 point, for example, the 1, 1 point. I know that the matching point is the same lower corner of the red figure. And I see that from 1, 1 to that lower point on the red figure, it moved down 2, and then it moved right 3. Those points match up because they're in the same spot of the figure. And we'll see the same thing happens for the 2, 4 point. It also moved down 2 and right 3.